Hey everyone, my name is Mike Tholfsen. I work on the Microsoft Education product team, and this is the August version of What's New in EDU. And our agenda, pretty exciting. We have a special guest who's going to be our leadoff hitter, and I'll pass it off to David from Figma in just a moment. We're also going to talk about some Copilot things, learning accelerators, Teams for Education, as well as our AI work there, and then Clipchamp for EDU, and we'll end it with an Ask Us Anything. So before we get going, if you haven't seen these incredible misaired quick guides, these are just one-page little PDFs, great for PD, fun and colorful. She created a bunch of new ones, and Microsoft has partnered with her to make them available to anyone in the world. And so we cover all sorts of products, everything from learning accelerators to M365 updates to Copilot to Conmigo to all of our new things. So check these out if you haven't already. And with that, I'm going to pass it off to David from Figma. So David, he is a team's rookie of taking control. So oh, look at that. He is a pro already. Okay, there we go.
Awesome. Sweet. And then just to clarify, can you all see my screen right now? All right, cool. Awesome. Well, hello, folks. I'm David, a former middle school teacher. Shout out. Let me know in the chat any other middle school or former middle school teachers in the house. I'm now working as the education learning specialist here at Figma. Our team's super excited to be partnering with Microsoft to bring our industry-leading collaborative design software to students and educators, and this is all for free. So to break it down, Figma has two main products, which I'll be showing you today. That is Figma Design and FigJam. Both are web-based, multiplayer tools that have the capacity to transform students' engagement and creativity in the classroom. And as a former middle school teacher who used both products, I'm just so jazzed to show you these today. The first one is Figma Design. And Figma Design is the leading industry collaborative design and creativity platform where classes can come together to design, illustrate, and build. Think of using Figma for things like designing digital apps, websites, animations, posters, and so much more. Speaking of building apps, you can use Figma Design to prototype, allowing for students to go from idea to reality in just a few clicks. They can even test their designs out on actual products, just like you can see here on the right-hand side of these middle school students testing out their dog app on their iPhone. You can also use Figma Design for more traditional outlets like graphic design or even animation design. And you can see the animation design of this cute little pack person. And this is all done through Figma's smart animate tools built right into the product. So now switching gears over to FigJam. FigJam's the second product I'm going to be talking about today, and it's a virtual whiteboard space for classes to collaborate, brainstorm, diagram, vote, share feedback, and more. FigJam is easy to learn and fun to use, so anyone can participate and share their ideas. So now we're going to go ahead and check out a couple of ways that we're seeing teachers using FigJam in K-12 today. So lots of educators are using FigJam in their ELA classes, English Language Arts, to create collaborative learning, much like this book recap lesson, which has the capacity to spin webs of connections that even Charlotte would be proud of. We're also seeing lots of teachers move away from traditional text-based assignments. I know I grew up in that era in the 90s. I was a worksheet kid. And we're seeing lots of teachers create spaces in FigJam for students to visually represent their ideas, much like we see this history example of students building a timeline together. Science teachers are really getting into their element, pun absolutely intended, by creating activities in FigJam where students can collaboratively diagram, work on key concepts, visually showcase their ideas and questions with their peers and classmates. You can even use digital math manipulatives in FigJam to practice place value, addition, algebra, and so much more. Finally, you can use FigJam. We're seeing a lot of teachers use this to connect and build strong classroom communities and environments. As a former teacher who used both Figma Design and FigJam, I can attest that these connections students make in these tools directly impacts the excitement of learning that can buzz within your classrooms. And this is all because Figma Design and FigJam fundamentally exist to take students from their current state of consuming, being influenced by copious amounts of information, media, apps, and more, and to a state where they are the creators, that creation phase. And in this orientation towards creating instead of consuming, students build their critical thinking skills. They're able to turn their wildest visions and ideas into actual tools and products. And even the quietest students, I saw this a ton, even the quietest students have a voice and a space to share their ideas like never before. So if you're not already convinced, here are a few reasons why you should try Figma. Also, please be shouting things out in the chat. You might see Lauren, also from Figma, who's going to be maybe answering some questions. So if you're not already convinced, a couple reasons why you might want to try out Figma is that it is free. Figma's enterprise tier, it's 100% free for educators and students. It's also web-based, so Figma works natively inside any browser or device, so students aren't just limited to having to work inside of a fancy computer lab a few times a week. They can take their assignments home with their devices. It's also natively collaborative. So you can go beyond contributing words to a document together. You can actually create, build, and just showcase new ideas in our infinite canvas models. And then lastly, what I loved is that putting kids in front of Figma Design and FigJam gives them a chance to build future-ready skills. These tools are used by 90% or more than 90% of Fortune 500 companies. So Figma truly does help equip students for future jobs of today and tomorrow. Alrighty, and now if all that excites you, here are a few next steps. So first, you should express interest by filling out our form at figma.com/ and I'll even link this in the chat in a little bit, /education-K12. Next, we'll then set up a time to meet you, understand your needs, and then you can sign a free contract with us. We'll then, third step, help you deploy Figma licenses through SAML, SSO, Azure, Active Directory. And then after deployment, you can even set up a free training with me. I'd love to hang out with y'all and educators and train you for some hands-on and collaborative PD where we truly jam together. And then once you're up and going, we'd love to hear feedback from you. We love hearing from teachers and educators and folks who support teachers and educators. So please always reach out to us. If you have even specific questions that we weren't able to get to because we're going at a quick clip here, you can always email us at education@figma.com. All of us here at the Figma for EDU team, we're former educators. We love talking to educators, just even shooting the breeze, getting ideas, answering questions with wonderful folks like yourself. So thank you so much for your time and happy jamming.
Awesome. Thank you, David. Yeah, it was great to see the Figma folks present because we use Figma at Microsoft, almost daily. Our designers, our product team, all of our, pretty much anything that's been designed that ships in software has probably come out of Figma at our company. So we're Figma stands, as the cool kids would say, the young kids would say. Okay, and with that, we're going to move on to Microsoft Education and AI. And so we've talked about this a few different times on these webinars in the past, so we're not going to go quite as deep as we have on repeating some of the things, but we have Copilot, which is available for all schools and staff. It's 18 and above, so we don't yet have it available for teens. We're working on a preview privately on that. There's Copilot for M365. That's Copilot and AI built into Word, Excel, PowerPoint, OneNote, etc. That is a paid offering. And then we have core Microsoft Education AI features, things like our learning accelerators or Teams AI, which you'll see more of. And then you can also build your own Copilot. And we're not going to be covering that at all today. That's a little more advanced. That's like AI 201 or 301. So just to remind folks, our responsible AI principles, everything we do is grounded in these, whether it's the actual code or the processes we go. They're very rigorous internally. So fairness, reliability, and safety, inclusiveness, responsibility, transparency, and accountability. So everything you're going to see here is always based in our responsible AI. And this is, I'm not going to go in deep on this, but some people just want to get a sense of, wow, what are all these different AI experiences across Microsoft? In the left-hand column, everything is free. So the core Copilot, Teams for EDU, Learning Accelerators, Conmigo for teachers. The middle one is our paid offering, so Copilot 365 or security or for Azure. And then you can also build your own. But this is like a one little snapshot. And this deck's going to be available afterwards as well. So Microsoft Copilot, all I'm going to really cover today for the core Copilot is making sure people know one of our most popular courses is this one here, which is Copilot for Educators. How to use large language models, how to use DALL-E 3 image creation, what are our responsible AI principles, playing around with Copilot. That's probably one of our top courses. These actually two, the next one is our 1 and 2 most popular courses. So AI for Educators or AI 101, this is really just dipping your toes in the water. What's AI? You know, I've heard all about these things. I'm not really sure what these words mean, like LLM and things like that. This is a great course for AI 101. And then also, it's been super popular. When we were at the ISTE conference in the United States back in June, we had a set of sessions and presentations across a bunch of our stuff that we did. And all of those PowerPoint decks we've made available for all educators in schools. So if you want to present in your school on Reflect or Speaker Progress or Copilot or name your thing, if you go to this form here, you can get all the decks sent to you. And these have been really popular. So moving on to Copilot for M365, one update is that we recently launched Quiz Copilot. So Forms Copilot and Quiz Copilot are both fully rolled out. So if you subscribe to, and again, this is a paid offering for Copilot M365, you can now create quizzes, you can create forms. In the future, you'll be able to integrate with standards. So your country standards or the United States standards, when you're creating that quiz, you'll be able to point to Word documents, PowerPoints, and other things. So this is fully rolled out and available now for Copilot M365, and it's been super popular. The other ones that we announced at ISTE that are rolling out fairly soon, probably in the next, I'll say month or two, maybe to private preview, are these Copilot extensions. So these are kind of like GPTs, if you've heard of that term, like extensions for Copilot. So in your organization, there's a teaching extension, so things like creating lesson plans, creating flashcards, making interactive lessons, creating learning goals. Kind of like these getting started really easy as an educator, huge time saver, and it's integrated across your organization. So it's kind of like internet is everything in the world. This is more like an intranet. So it's a little more scoped and tailored towards what you're working on as an educator. And then the other one, this is for students 18 years and older. We're still working on the teen responsible AI approval. But there's also a learning extension for Copilot. So in a similar way, for learners, you can see in the upper right here, the little learning one, those are these extensions. And similarly, you can do things like help me create flashcards, help me learn something, give me some feedback on my writing. So in a similar way that the educator one works, we have the learner extension as well. And these will just be part of Copilot M365, and then be able to use them from the M365 homepage or inside of Teams. Good question, Walberto. Walberto asked in the chat, how do we try these features? So we recently opened up a private preview group for educators who have a Copilot M365 license, because not everyone has this. So if you get a Copilot M365 license, you can join our private preview, and we have a whole private team, and you can start testing these out, giving us feedback. We show those groups new prototypes and things like that. And I'm going to pass it off to Sam, but we'll paste a link to that private preview group, a form, if you want to sign up. So I'll put that in the chat, and I'm going to hand it off to Sam, who's going to talk about learning accelerators and speaker progress.
Awesome. Hey, everybody. So I'm really excited because since the last time I talked to you, there have been a couple new updates. So first of all, Speaker Progress is generally available. It's fully rolled out worldwide. A reminder, Speaker Progress is our learning accelerator that helps students build their presentation and public speaking skills by giving them real-time feedback and coaching as they're presenting and showing them a rehearsal report at the end. You can access this in Teams assignments. So everybody has access now. It's fully rolled out. And I think Emma will drop a link in the chat, but going into private preview this week finally is Math Progress. So excited about that. We know a lot of you are really excited to try out Math Progress, and it's going into private preview this week, which is awesome. So if you sign up at that link that Emma posted in the chat, you'll get access to that early math private preview, and you can try it and be the first to give us feedback. So again, these are all of our learning accelerators, how they fit into the suite of Microsoft tools. Like I said, Speaker Progress and Speaker Coach is now available worldwide. A couple more things I just want to highlight about Speaker Progress. So it's a really important future-ready skill to teach students how to present, how to feel confident as communicators. We know it's a top driver of student anxiety. And so we really want to help students build those skills young because it's something that their employers really care about in the future. And it's also something that's been identified as one of the top 3 skills that will be needed in the age of generative AI. We don't exactly know where the workforce is going with all of these AI changes, but we do know that soft skills like communication, creativity, and critical thinking are going to continue to be very important for students to develop. So I would encourage you to go ahead and try out Speaker Progress and Teams assignments. I'll put this QR code here if you're interested in trying out Speaker Progress. I'll also drop some links into the chat in a second that show you our blog, Mike's newest YouTube video, our Microsoft Learn course, and the quick guide on Speaker Progress. So please go ahead and try that out. And like I said, also sign up for that Math Progress private preview. Now, the last thing I want to talk about is the Teams Assignments LTI. So the Teams Assignments LTI allows you to bring all of the Teams Assignments functionality, including our awesome learning accelerators, into your learning management system. We'll be actually going GA in a couple weeks with the Teams Assignments LTI, so it'll be even more widely available, but we do have a way for you to sign up for that private preview. And what it does is it allows you to create and complete Teams assignments within your learning management system. So this is an example of what it looks like to create a Speaker Progress assignment within Schoology. So I can launch that right from within Schoology. It allows me to launch the Teams assignments experience without having to sign in again. It's very seamless, and it allows me to link that assignment right in Schoology automatically, so my students can click on it from Schoology or Canvas or Moodle or Brightspace or Blackboard or whatever learning management system they're using. So in this case, I'm going through the process of creating a Speaker Progress assignment. For Speaker Progress, you can do all sorts of things like a presentation title, a number of attempts, a time limit, and you can turn on all of these Speaker Coach items. So I can customize all of this as the educator. And again, I'm creating this assignment, but it's actually going to get added to my Schoology course, which you'll see in a second. So this is really huge. We know so many of our customers have wanted to try out these learning accelerators, but you have a learning management system. And so we've now made it possible for you to use these learning accelerators really seamlessly in your LMS. So now these assignment details are being synced to Schoology. And I'll just briefly show as well the student experience. So this is the student experience. Again, I can launch that. I don't have to sign in again. It allows me to easily open up that Teams assignment and do my Speaker Progress assignment. So you'll see here, this is me, I recorded this, and I'm gonna get my real-time Speaker Coach coaching and then see my rehearsal report and be able to turn it in, which will automatically turn it in Schoology. I won't show the full grading experience because I'm running out of time here, but once the educator grades this, all of those grades will sync back to the learning management system as well. So really exciting there. We hope that you try out the assignments LTI. So again, when I turn that in Teams, that's going to turn it in for me automatically in my learning management system. There we go. As you can see, it's turned in, as I can see in my LMS. So there we go. If you're interested in this LMS preview, you can sign up here for the Teams Assignments LTI. But like I said, this is also going generally available in a couple of weeks. I'm going to hand it over now to Emma, who's going to talk about Math Progress, which is going into preview this week, which is super exciting.
Hi, everybody, and thank you, Sam. Yeah, we are so excited that Math Progress is heading into private preview this week. I shared the link in the chat. If you scroll up a little bit there, I'll be doing a whole push of invitations later this evening. So if you fill out the form now, you'll be part of that invite. And Math Progress is one of our newest learning accelerators. And like all of them, we've got that focus on real-time coaching, that inclusive by design, first principle that comes through with everything that we build. We also know that it's really important in the context of math to help educators save time. The creation of math practice assignments takes a really, really long time, whether it's generating questions to begin with. If it's multiple choice, then you not only need to get the right answer, but you need to redo every question multiple times to get it wrong, as if you're a student who has different kinds of challenges or who would make different mistakes. And we have technology now through Math Progress that allows us to create not only math problems with right answers, but with those wrong answers, those intelligent distraction answers for practice as well. And then we learn from that and show it to you through insights so that you can see the most common mistakes and misconceptions in your class through that process. So very, very excited to show you a live demo of what it is that Math Progress looks like today. So I'm here with my Mike profile picture. I'm here as an educator in teens assignments. And what you can see is I've already set up my title and my description. This is a welcome back after the summer break. We're going to get a sense of how the class is doing, some formative assessment on linear equations before jumping into quadratics. You can see those AI instructions across the bottom there, but in this particular case, my plan is to attach a math progress. So we can go here, and as we see, we've got our title and our description, and now it's up to me to choose a category and a topic for the questions I would like to generate. These categories and topics span middle school and high school primarily right now, but part of private preview is to hear from you to get a sense of what other topics and categories you'd like to see. And as you can see here, the questions that are generated have varying levels of difficulty. So we can go on through, this is a pretty simple, a couple of operations there. This one's kind of nice. Ooh, that's a fun little trick question on this side. Oh, not a number. Maybe let's not use that one. And okay, more challenging ones, fractions, and some with the variable on both sides. That looks great. If I wanted to, I could create my own question as well. So this allows me to create a multiple choice or a short answer question. I can tag it myself with a category and a topic. This is extra good for word problems or anything else that you'd like to create on that side. But I'm just going to leave this as is for now and hit next. And here I can see not just the right answers for those math questions, but also the wrong ones as if I was a student with certain misconceptions. So for example, in this one, some of these wrong answers might be because I got my order of operations wrong or I dropped a negative sign somewhere. And you can go on through and see we have intelligent distraction answers for all of those different questions, including a very, very large one right there. In this particular case, what I'm going to do actually is edit this a little bit and make it a short answer question, just to leave the answer field a little bit more open for my learners. You can see as well, I can customize it in a couple more ways. I can get learners to upload pictures of their work. We know that a lot of math still happens with pencil and paper. We want the students to rate these questions. This is extra interesting because if a kid gets a low score on a math progress assignment, but they said it was really easy, now we have an opportunity to have a constructive conversation about that. Similarly, if a student says that they found it really difficult, but they scored very well, we can chat with them a little bit as well about maybe how they could feel more confident with their math skills, because obviously they've got the skills to back it up. We can shuffle the question order as well here to preserve the integrity of the assignment, and I'm just going to click done. Awesome, this looks good to me, and I will hit assign. Now I'm going to swipe over to my student account. Did that work? Can we still see the student? I can't see anything from the team. I still got you. Thank you very much. Back to school linear equations review. Don't we love those assignments on the very first day back? We can click in here. We can see math progress right where any other learning accelerator would be. And this is a look at my experience. So I've got a nice little welcome page with an adorable binder. And as I get started, I can go on through and I can choose, maybe that one was easy, all kinds of answers. I know the math teachers in the call are cringing as I'm choosing these at random, but that's what we're doing for the demo today. And you can see as well, something really powerful in math progress is the math calculator. So gone are the days of me trying to type things in with extra brackets, working with variables, getting things wrong that way. This is a nice way to format. Let's see if I want to add, oh, there we can go on through. You can see all of these different ways that I can format things in. There we go, add a fraction. We can fill out our numbers there. I can type them in as well. 25 times 2 over 14 is definitely the wrong answer, and I'm going to say I found that hard. I have the option to upload pictures, or you could imagine screenshots if I've got an ink-enabled device. Can hit done and turn in. And of course, we have our classic turn in celebration. Putting our teacher hat back on, I'm going to hit refresh, and let's take a look at that assignment as it was auto-graded. Navigate to assignments, take a look at ready to grade, click in here, and let's take a look at how Search Coach student did. It's almost like you can tell that I work on Search Coach in progress in my other time. Here we are. 1 out of 4 questions right, that 25%. And the problems that I had today were with basic operations. You could see how this could become a list. Basic operations, place value, negative numbers. All of these misconceptions are things we're looking to get feedback on as part of private preview. And I can actually go on through here, and of course I can allocate part marks. I can change whether I think something is correct or incorrect, but it's auto-graded for me to begin with, which is so, so awesome. This one needs review. Awesome, because maybe it didn't parse the way that the student decided to input this, and I can go in and I can change that for myself here. But I feel pretty good about this. I'm going to say return, and then we're going to navigate back to the students for the very final thing here to take a look at the auto-graded and auto-generated responses for these questions. So it's also very time-consuming as a teacher to have to go through, and I think I can just click this here, returned. I think I click in right here. And we can see that I have solution steps already generated for each of my problems. So this only happened after my teacher handed the assignment back to me, but now I can see exactly what I would have done in order to get any of these questions right. That's really cool. For quadratics, we actually have up to 4 different ways to solve those problems. So lots of different step-by-steps for a learner to go through. Lots to learn here. Very, very exciting features. And we are so stoked to get that in your hands. So I'm going to stop screen sharing and get back to the call.
Thank you, Emma, and hello, everyone. As we turn the corner from summer to fall in the Northern Hemisphere, and if you're finishing up winter break in the Southern Hemisphere and returning back to school, we want to join you in welcoming and celebrating your students. If your students use Reading Coach this summer or winter break to stay on top of their reading, please tell us about it. And the way you tell us about it is by going to this link, aka.ms/readingcoachrewards. We want to celebrate your students. We want to send them sticker packs. We got a special edition of Reading Coach stickers to send to your classroom. And we want to feature your stories and your students' stories about what Reading Coach is doing for you in the classroom and away from the classroom in some special Microsoft Education blogs. So please tell us how it's going at aka.ms/readingcoachrewards. Next, coming up for Reading Coach, first we're going to have the Reading Coach experience localized in 60+ languages. You'll also be able to paste in your own content in 60+ languages. And then later this fall, you'll be able to create AI stories in 12 new languages. With that, I'm going to pass it over to Leif. Leif, take it away.
Thank you, Anoo. So I'm going to talk about the functionality that's basically are shipped already or about to ship for functionality. And the key thing here is these are all things that are included for free in all your A1, A3, A5 licenses, so nothing extra for you. The first thing is our AF educators thing. So all these educator tools are basically for in context talk before. This is all kind of we make understand what your class is going to be, what your grade is going to be looking at, and so forth. Basically, it's all about you being in control and hopefully it's boosting your productivity, because hoping saving educators' time is a key thing for us. And of course, everything is by admin control. You can turn this on off if you want to. So the things we have right now, we shipped this. We have a rubrics feature. So this is allow you to create rubrics directly with AI, put in the information, add your content, and as you are setting your age range or this grade level, we will automatically suggest criteria for you and automatically create the rubrics. It's all available for you today in assignments. Similar, we have a new feature for instructions that allows you to do create automatically instructions. So basically add detail, add learning accelerators, direct learning objectives directly into your instructions field. You'll take into account your title, your classwork modules directly as it's built in your functionalities. All available right now. You can try it out in assignments today. And of course, we love our learning accelerators and reading progress. One of the key things for reading progress is, of course, to create content for students. Now we're adding our AI to help you generate passages. So not only are we taking things like topics and age, but also looking at past learning reading progress application to see what the challenging words are for your students, and we use those as a generate passage for you. It's all built in today and available for you right now. In addition to those things, we're seeing huge people love this functionality, which is the ability to actually test if the students understand the text. And of course, we'll add questions for those things. We already have that, but now we're using AI to automatically read through the text you have, whatever content you have, Word document, those things, automatically create a set of questions. And when the students have finished the reading progress application, we'll automatically prompt the students for questions. So it's super time saver for you. And of course, understanding if the student doing is all free already and is available for you today. The last but not least, we are using our classwork modules. This is currently in beta. And you will see it coming soon, production, I would say pretty soon. We will, again, ask for your student age range, talk about your scope of learning looking for, and then automatically generate a set of modules for you can use and edit for you. You can either start from scratch, or if you already added 4 or 5 modules in your classwork, we'll use as an input to add additional modules for you as well. So it's a great time saver for you as you do functionality. Okay, speaking of Teams education, a couple new things we're doing. So one thing we know from our teachers is that we want to learn more about tips and training. So we're adding a new tips pane. It's in assignments and grades. You can see all your trainings. You can see the kind of tips you're looking for, and we'll automatically send you a link to those things. So one way we always opt for you to always have fresh new training and tips in assignments, grades, and classwork in the Teams education itself. So super excited to see those things. And just fresh off the press, because I just saw it right now. This is not for everybody. We added the PDF edit last year, and now we have added the ability for automatic type in text directly in PDF as well. So this is now rolled to everybody. Any PDF file you use in assignments for your students, for teachers, for grading, you can now edit not only inking, but also add text directly into your case. So it's awesome to see. For people using our school connection stuff, we do know it's important, of course, to communicate with parents and students. And now we're adding a new way for you to create your parents and guardians directly into Parent Connection as well. You can now just add them directly, admin can approve it, and you don't know if you don't use SDS. No, if you use SDS, of course, that's the most efficient way of doing it. But if you don't use SDS, you can now use this way directly to the UI, have parents, admin approve it, and now you can have automatically communicate with your teacher as well. So awesome to see. And with that, I'll turn it over to somebody's using Clipchamp. I believe that's going to be Mike. Awesome.
Great. And this will just be really quick, kind of a repeat. But for those of you that don't know, Clipchamp, our incredible video editing tool, is now available for all educators and all students who have either an M365 A3 license or an A5 license. And that is actually rolling out right now. So you can use it on Windows 11, you can use it in the web, and this is our incredible video editing tool. And we're not going to have time to do a full demo here, but it's really powerful. Students love it, teachers love it. And the other thing to note, what I'm going to do, there have been some questions because it's in the middle of global rollout and it has not hit every school in the world yet. It's sort of because these things take time as they roll them out. There's a nice support article I put into the chat. If you want to speed up your own, if you go, hey, I go into M365 and I don't see Clipchamp yet because the rollout hasn't hit you, go to this link and there's some really easy things to do to speed up the process of having it show up for you. So I won't go through the details, but I know some schools have said, hey, I see it, but my friend over here doesn't see it. This article helps speed up that rollout process. It should finish up in the next 3 or 4 weeks, like the entire world. But for some reason, if you haven't seen it yet, that article is good to check out. And with that, we are going to move on to the Ask Us Anything. I'm not going to go through these, but we've got lots of links and resources in this deck. I'll leave it on here because here's a copy of the deck. But if you want to put a question into the chat, or if you want to raise your hand, we will unmicrophone it, meaning you can turn on your mic and or your video. But we're happy to answer questions. So either put them in the chat or raise your hand and we'll answer questions.